Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. I would like to inaugurate a new series, Thus Spake Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche. This isn't the copy we will be excerpting from. I have a different copy nailed down right here, which I have all my notes in from years ago. I'm going to start on page 1, Zarathustra's prologue. When Zarathustra was 30 years old, he left his home and the lake of his home and went into the mountains. Here he enjoyed his spirit and his solitude, and for 10 years did not tire of it. But at last a change came over his heart, and one morning he rose with the dawn, stepped before the sun, and spoke to it thus: "You great star, what would your happiness be, had you not those for whom you shine?" Pause there for a second. I like that one. I've got it underlined, one of my favorite quotes of anybody of all time. What would your happiness be had you not those for whom you shine? Now, knowing that the fountainhead as I do, I know that your happiness can't be those for whom you shine. Then you're an empty shell. But it's a very poetically powerful line. You know, wrong, but inspiring nonetheless. He continues to talk to the sun. "For 10 years you have climbed to my cave. You would have tired of your light and of the journey had it not been for me and my eagle and my serpent. But we waited for you every morning, took your overflow from you, and blessed you for it. Behold, I am weary of my wisdom. Like a bee that has gathered too much honey, I need hands outstretched to receive it." He's gotta go get rid of his wisdom now. "I would give away and distribute until the wise among men find joy once again in their folly, and the poor in their riches." Right? The wise need to find joy again in their folly. He mentioned somewhere else something about being kids, adults who are kids at heart. And the poor find joy in their riches. That is a daunting line, which may show up later in totalitarianism of the 20th century. "For that I must descend to the depths, as you do in the evening when you go behind the sea, and still bring light to the underworld, you over-rich star. Like you I must go under, go down, as is said by man, to whom I want to descend." It's going to come down the mountain to man. "So bless me then, you quiet eye that can look even upon an all too great happiness without envy. Bless the cup that wants to overflow. Behold, this cup wants to become empty again. Zarathustra wants to become man again." And Zarathustra began to go under. Part 2, the little number 2, has only been a page and a half. "Zarathustra descended alone from the mountains, encountering no one. But when he came into the forest, all at once there stood before him an old man, who had left his holy cottage to look for roots in the woods. And thus spake the old man to Zarathustra: 'No stranger to me is this wanderer. Many years ago he passed this way. Zarathustra he was called, but he has changed. At that time you carried your ashes to the mountains. Would you now carry your fire into the valleys? Do you not fear to be punished as an arsonist?'" Ah, let us savor these lines, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that a fantastic set of lines? You carried your ashes up the mountain. And what sort of formation? Obviously, the phoenix is being alluded to. What sort of formation brought you up from the ashes to have fire once again? Now you'll bring your fire into the valleys, and what will they call you? An arsonist. What did they do to Prometheus? Ah, we hear the echoes of ancient Greece, don't we? Always. You can't get away from Greece in any good line in any book anywhere. "Yes, I recognize Zarathustra. His eyes are pure, and around his mouth there hides no disgust. Does he not walk like a dancer? Zarathustra has changed. Zarathustra has become a child. Zarathustra is an awakened one. What do you now want among the sleepers? You lived in your solitude as in the sea, and the sea carried you. What do you now want among the sleepers?" Good line there, isn't it? What do you want over here? They're sleeping. What are you going to do? They'll charge you for arson. "Alas, you now climb ashore. Alas, you again drag your own body. You don't belong on land. You're a fish out of water." Zarathustra answered, "I love man." Then the old man says again, "Why did I go into the forest and the desert? Was it not because I loved man all too much? Now I love God, man I love not. Man is for me too imperfect a thing," said the old man. "Love of man would kill me." Zarathustra answered, "Did I speak of love? I bring men a gift." Did I speak of love? Well, he said he loves man. Did I speak of love? I bring a gift for them. Well, why would you bring them a gift if you didn't love them? Let's go on. "Give them nothing," said the saint. "Rather take part of their load and help them to bear it. That will be best for them. Don't give them a gift, help them. If only it does you good, and if you want to give them something, give no more than alms, and let them beg for that." So help them with something, but don't give them any gifts. And if you do give them anything, make them beg. And he says, "No." Zarathustra says, "No, I give no alms. For that I am not poor enough." Well, that sticks the poverty of the soul right into people who believe in charity as a virtue, right? You're going to give money to decrepit, worthless people because their leg fell off or something, because something befell them. Fine, give some money to somebody, but don't consider it a virtue. And that sticks it right to them. You have to be really, really poor of soul to give alms. The saint laughed at Zarathustra and spoke thus, "Then see to it that they accept your treasures. They are suspicious of hermits and do not believe that we come with gifts. Our steps sound too lonely through the streets. And what if at night in their beds they hear a man walk by long before the sun has risen? They probably ask themselves, where is the thief going?" Right? Not only do they not like what you bring them, but they're going to be very suspicious of you. "Do not go to man. Stay in the forest. Go rather even to the animals. Why did you not go to be as I am, a bear among bears, a bird among birds?" Zarathustra asks, "And what is the saint doing in the forest?" The saint answered, "I make songs, and I sing them, and when I make songs I laugh, cry, and hum. Thus I praise God. With singing, crying, laughing, and humming I praise the God, who is my God. But what do you bring us as a gift?" When Zarathustra had heard these words, he bade the saint farewell, and said, "What could I have to give you? But let me go quickly, lest I take something from you." This guy's found God. And thus they separated, the old one and the man, laughing as two boys laugh. But when Zarathustra was alone, he spoke thus to his heart, "Could it be possible? This old saint in the forest has not yet heard anything of this, that God is dead. How could he be?" So he's like, "Listen, I'm going to take something from you if I stay any longer. I don't bring you a gift. You've got everything you need. You've found God. I'm out." He's going along. He's like, could he possibly really not know that God is dead? How could he not know God has died? Okay, on to section 3. When Zarathustra came into the next town, which lies on the edge of the forest, he found many people gathered together in the marketplace, for it had been promised that there would be a tightrope walker. And Zarathustra spoke thus to the people, "I teach you the overman. Man is something that shall be overcome. What have you done to overcome him? All beings so far have created something beyond themselves." Bit of evolution chiming in there. "And do you want to be the ebb of this great flow, and even go back to the beasts rather than overcome man? What is the ape to man? A laughingstock or painful embarrassment. And man shall be just that for the overman, a laughingstock or painful embarrassment." And I pause just for a second. This is the essence of the overman right here. The next coming, whatever man is able to evolve into or offer. Little did Nietzsche know that our genetic stock is like a battery that quickly runs down if it's not left in the wild. When it's domesticated, the battery runs out very quickly, and then if you're put back in the wild, you're in a really, really tough shape. And we sort of are still in the wild, in the world of microbes around the world. So we are domesticated, and our genes are just proliferating. Every type of gene